What is going on, Joe? How you doing today, my man?
Still on the mend, feeling like crap, but doing better. Doing better. We got some stuff to talk about today. We'll be talking
Yeah.
about Project Marvel with our good friend Piro. Always good to have Piro back on.
I hope he knows that we say that affectionately.
We do. If we didn't make fun of him, that means that we don't like him. That means that everybody on the show loves Piro.
Oh man, I'm having a hard. Dude, I had to get my Coke Zero out. I'm having a hard time waking up, man. I make Chica her breakfast or her coffee in the morning. Then I put my head back down, and I think I'm just 30 more minutes, man. 30 more minutes, and I've been good about that, Joe. For the last week or so, 30 minutes turned into 2.5 hours. Suddenly it's 9:15, and I should have been working by 8. But I
Mike
didn't
wants
work late last
cuddles,
night.
want cuddles with Chica. It's all right, bro. I don't blame
Damn
you.
straight I do. Damn straight
I
I
would
do.
rather be I'd rather be cuddled up with somebody too than to be on the show, you know? But I mean, we got to do what we got to do. Albert Lopez is in the house. Sotero Lopez, Sam Salinas. I said when they don't like anyone on the show because y'all don't make fun of any of us, we'll accept Lerma.
Yeah.
I said, so I guess y'all only like Lerma.
That text we got from Elias yesterday where he was saying it was like the time I got after him and Leha.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, wake up, Jimenez. Let's make this happen.
You need to drink some coffee.
Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade, we rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
It's a Thursday. You chose to be with us here at the Area 210 podcast. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We are powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, and the chat is alive and well. We have a big show today. We're talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Joe, I tried watching Casino last night. I don't remember any of it. This might be a movie that I've never seen. So I saw Goodfellas last week. Now, I had seen Goodfellas as a teenager, and I saw it again because it was the 35-year anniversary. Wanted to revisit it. Great movie. Had a hard time getting into Casino. I'm going to try to power through the rest of it today. But, Joe, we're talking the NFL. Week 4. We're going to make our predictions. We're going to look back at our predictions from week 3. How did we do when it came to that? We have Michael Carlos from the San Antonio Current. Puro in the house. Talking to us about Project Marvel. Joe, I told you about this. I don't know if you saw the photo. It's on his Twitter account. He set up a table or chair, if you will, with a sign at the Pearl saying, talk to me about Project Marvel. What are your opinions? He was just trying to get man on the street opinion when it comes to it all. I want to find out what did he learn?
I saw the picture. The picture was quite funny. There it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like that meme, the change my mind meme where that guy's at the table saying change my mind. It says, talk to me about Project Marvel. Now, I do appreciate the fact that he's wearing the Fred's Fish Fry get up there. But we'll talk to Michael Carlos about that.
That's why he's puro. He tries to keep it puro, man, with the Fred's Fish Fry.
You know
I
what?
can dig it, man.
That is not puro. That is puro right there.
Yeah,
we'll talk about Michael Irvin. Now, a couple of weeks ago, he was on the All the Smoke podcast, and I just ran across a TikTok. I thought it was from like yesterday, but it was from 2 weeks ago. But I find it to be funny because Michael Irvin was ranking himself among the all-time great NFL wide receivers. And where he placed himself, is he full of himself or is he just confident in his past abilities? We'll get into that. Lots to get into. Again, we are powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. Yesterday was Wednesday Wines Day, which was half off bottles of wine and champagne. But today they have happy hour all day, every day from 3 to 6. Every day from 3 to 6. Go check out Sean Quintero over at PF Chang's La Cantera. Tell him the Area 210 podcast sent you over there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying you're going to get a discount, but I'm not saying that you're not going to get a discount. Just say it. Just say it. Just say that you're here. Say that you're here. Maybe you'll get an app. I don't know. Again, chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. They do a fantastic job for lunch and dinner. And also for parties, Joe, because you have a party coming up at La Cantera as well. You had your birthday party there recently.
Yeah, I had it there in last year in March. Sean did a good it was a great spread that they put out for me there. It was a lot of fun, had bottle of champagne and everything. And if you have an event, something coming up, talk to Sean, dude. Sean, he's gonna treat you right, and he does a great job. Like he even goes out of his way to get like decorations and stuff. He's forward thinking, man. So if you go with
Yeah,
Sean, you get a party planner. You get somebody that's gonna take care of you, and he actually cares about you. So go ahead
yeah.
and get with Sean from PF Chang's. Good guy.
Hey, Joe, last night, man, I got the Traeger out and I made myself some steaks. Steak for Chica. Family friend came by and we enjoyed the time, dude. It was a fantastic time. My steak came out good, dude. Had a New York strip, seasoned it correctly, butter all over it. It came out amazing, dude. Now, because it was 2-inch thick, Joe, I had to go about 9 minutes on each side to get it to medium,
Yeah.
but it came out pretty good. Dude. I was actually pretty pleased with myself when it comes to it all. I have a ton of leftovers, so I'll be having steak for lunch. Oh, in about an hour and 20 minutes when we do this, when we wrap up the show. But man, Joe, week 4 of the NFL is upon us. Cowboys taking on the Packers. It's funny because I was watching ESPN today. They have the analytics. We're all under the impression that the Cowboys are going to lose this game, right?
Oh yeah.
What odds do you think ESPN Analytics has on the Packers winning? Like, what percentage chance do you believe ESPN Analytics has?
Has to be at least in the high 90s, 98, 99.
Joe, it's 60.
What?
Which means
Come on.
ESPN, I'm just saying, ESPN Analytics is coming out saying there's a chance. ESPN Analytics gives it a 40% chance of the Cowboys being victorious Sunday night against the Packers, which would be fun. I mean, it'd be fun. Micah Parsons going to town. Joe, if I was to ask you this question about Micah Parsons, and let's say that I set the over under at 1/2 number of sacks he gets. Do you think he just goes to town? Do you think he's just throwing Prescott to the ground all night long, or do you think the Cowboys' defense, offensive line is going to hold up and not allow that sack? Because you know what's going to happen, Joe. If he gets through the line, goes around the line, and gets to Dak Prescott, you know that's what's going to be the biggest highlight of the week, Joe.
It is. And will Mike Parsons get to Dak Prescott? More than likely. And I mean, the Cowboys, you've seen what their defense can do, especially that secondary. It stinks, man.
Yeah,
And against a good Green Bay's Packers team, I mean, it's gonna get ugly, and it's gonna get ugly quick. I
yeah.
think at least by the second quarter, you're gonna be looking at least 14-0 or 14-3 at the most. By halftime, 21-3. I mean, come on, Mike. I mean, what are
Well,
we doing,
well,
ESPN?
here's the thing, Joe. You know those survivor pools when it comes to NFL. You know, people who gamble on the NFL, and they make their their lock prediction that we know for a fact that money line this is going to happen. Last week, so many people got dropped off because Green Bay lost to the Cleveland Browns. If I had told you that they were going to lose to the Cleveland Browns, especially in the fashion in which they did, where it was a blocked field goal and then the Browns kicked a 54-yard field goal to win the game, they only scored 10 points against the Browns. Now, I know the Browns have a good defense. The Cowboys' defense sucks. But the fact of the matter is that everyone and their mama thought to themselves, us included, that Green Bay had no chance of losing against Cleveland. But they did. And Cleveland sucks.
Cleveland is sneaky, man, because I said their defense is good. It's their offense that's pure basura, pure garbage, man. But even, not the Browns, they managed to get a win here and there. That's just the way that team is. It's like that saying goes, right? From that movie way back in the day, any given Sunday, right, Mike?
Mhm.
Any given Sunday. I think that's probably one of the few wins the Browns will get on the season. But I mean, it happens, man. But the Cowboys, coming off of that horrid loss to the Bears, they needed to win that game in order to have some momentum, because you would think that going up against the Packers, they have no shot. I'm still sticking with that. I'm not going to move away from that. I give the Cowboys no chance against the Green Bay Packers. If I was betting, I'd go with the Packers, man, and I'd bet against the Cowboys. I give them no chance, and there's not much money to be made in this game unless you're doing prop bets. I
Right.
mean, you could go with the Cowboys straight up money line, but are they going to realistically win? Probably not.
Sam Salinas on our chat, powered by PF Chang's Alcantara, says his prediction is Micah will get hurt in Dallas. Micah already fighting injuries to start the season. He has that back injury, but he's looked very, very good ever since he's joined the Green Bay Packers. The spread is 6.5 points. The over-under is 47.5. If you bet Dallas to win, the money line is plus 260. Meantime, the Houston Texans are in danger of going 0-4. They're going to be playing a team that's also 0-3 with a rookie quarterback in the Tennessee Titans. Texans favored by 7.5. It's a home game, 12 o'clock on CBS. The Texans better get this victory, because if not, then what the hell's going on over there? If they go 0-4, what the hell is going on in Houston? They look awful. Now, I know Joe Mixon's out. Joe Mixon may come back for week 5, but by then, Joe, it might be too far gone. It might be too far gone when it comes to getting back into the playoff mix. At that point, you'd have to run the table for a month and get back into it.
This is a Texan season. It's a Texan season up. It's up for grabs right now because they got to win. They have to have a win. This is a must win. If you don't win this game, your season's all but squandered away. It's hard to come back from this. We've seen what happened with the Cincinnati Bengals last season, right? They came out and they lost the first 4 or 5 games of the season. Then they had to go on this miraculous run, and it still wasn't enough. And that's the situation that the Texans find themselves in. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. More than likely, the finger pointing is going to be coming back to the coach. I mean, the coach is going to take the blame, but at the end of the day, it's the execution out there on the field that's, questionable at times, especially with CJ Stroud. You would have thought that he would have played up to the billing, but he has not been that guy, for the Texans so far. And there's been a lot of other things that have gone wrong with the Texans, but the main factor here is, what did we say? Texans were going to have a hell of a schedule this season.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's rearing its ugly head, and the Texans, they're not as good as advertised, man. They have
no running game. Nick Chubb ain't it, man. He ain't it. Hand of a fist asking you the question, Joe, on our chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. What does Joe do when both the main and Sancha not looking good? Again, Texans are your Sancha team. The Cowboys are your main squeeze. What happens at that point? Same's going on with me, man. Going with the Bengals versus the Saints. It's been a lost season for us when it comes to what we're cheering for. At the very least, they get to cheer for teams playing against the Cowboys, because that's really my second favorite team.
So when your favorite team and your Sancha team aren't playing well, you have to go and pick up another side chick, man. The other side chick is going to be the Buffalo Bills, man. Riding with them this season.
Mafia. It's funny if that's who we want to roll with, right? That's that Bills Mafia. I sent you guys that TikTok the other day where it was a cartoon, and it was basically talking about all the teams that have never won the Super Bowl coming together. So it was like the Titans. I mean, it was like the Titans, the Texans, the Panthers, and how they're all talking to each other. And the Cowboys are in the room going, "What are we doing in here? We've won Super Bowls." and all the teams are like, "Have you really? Have you really? Yeah, we've won 5. We've been to 8." And he's like, "Nah, man." And then the Eagles show up, and the Eagles are like, the Cowboys are like, "Hey, Eagles, vouch for us." And the Eagles are like, "No." Well, speaking of the Eagles, they're on the road this weekend against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Battle of 2 3-0 teams. Both teams, Joe, I am sorry. Eagles and Bucks are both smoke and mirrors. The Buccaneers are 3-0, but have only outscored their opponents by 6 points collectively. The Eagles are 3-0, and they really should be 1-2. They should have lost to the Cowboys. They should have lost in week 3. I know they say good teams win, in when they play poorly, right? And great teams snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I get that. But there's also something to be said about that happening way too often. Though both of those teams right there, Joe, I don't buy either one of them right now. And it's weird because if you ask yourself the question, who's the best team in the NFC? If you were to say like 5 different teams, I'd believe you. Like if you were to say the Packers, I'd be like, okay, but they lost to the Browns. If you were to say the Bucks, okay, but they barely beat bad teams. If you were to say the Eagles, okay, they're the Super Bowl champions, but they've lost. They've won 2 games that they outright should have lost. You're looking at the NFC, Joe, picking the best team because the Lions beat the Ravens over the weekend. So they scored 52 points, and then they follow that up with a victory over the Ravens. They pull off that upset. But I look at that team. But here's the thing, Joe. We say this about Dan Campbell and the Lions. Dan Campbell will be the reason why they get to the playoffs. He'll be the reason why they get bounced in the playoffs because he goes too far. Joe, I'm looking through 3 weeks right now. If I had to crown right now the best team in the NFC, give me the Rams.
The Whams. I hate the Rams, but I have to agree with you, man.
I'll probably change my mind again in week 6. But as of right now, the most complete team in the NFL right now in the NFC appears to be the Rams and then maybe the Packers. And then maybe the Lions.
Lions
where do the Eagles fall? Because I don't even see the Eagles as being the top 3 in the NFC right now.
The Eagles are that sneaky team, man. They're just going to kind of stay even kill, kind of under the radar. You know, just not making a lot of noise. But damn it, when it comes to the playoff time, I think that's where they're gonna shine. I believe actually in this Tampa Bay team, man. I think this Tampa Bay team is a scrappy team. And that's the thing is when you become that type of scrappy team and you win these close games, you prove yourself in the trench, man. That doesn't matter how close the game is. It's still in striking distance. And Baker Mayfield, brother's a baller, man.
Oh, he
brother's
is
a baller.
I love Baker Mayfield. Ever since his OU days, I've loved Baker Mayfield. The fact that he got a playoff victory for the Cleveland Browns, for crying out loud. His career is interesting. He was a backup for Carolina, Joe. Like, he had gotten so bad that he was a backup for Carolina, goes to Tampa Bay. Remember, they got him on a Monday. They traded for him on a Monday, and he played that Thursday. Didn't know the players, didn't know the plays, and they got a victory. One of the most impressive wins I've ever seen. But are we really impressed by the fact that the Buccaneers are 3-0? Here we go, Joe. They're 3-0, right? They've outscored their opponents by just 6 points, right? But here's who they beat. Atlanta, 23-20. What did Atlanta do last week, Joe? That was 30-0 to Carolina. They beat the Texans 20-19. How many wins do the Texans have?
Zero. Yep.
They beat the Jets 29-27 by 2 points at home. You might say Mario Cavazos is coming out here on our chat, powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, say that they're grinding out the victories, showing grit and composure. No, they're beating crappy teams. Barely. They're beating crappy teams barely. So if we were to give our power rankings for the NFC, Joe, even though they're 2-1, I'd get the Rams 1. I'd go Lions 2, Packers 3, Bucks 4, Eagles 5. That'll be my top 5, Joe.
In the NFC?
NFC, yeah. I'll go Rams, Lions, Packers, Bucks, Eagles.
I don't know about that, man. Number 1, I'm going to go with the Super Bowl champ. I'd have to go ahead and put the Eagles number 1 in the NFC. Number 2, right behind them, I'd have to go ahead and go with the Packers, man. I'd like the Packers. I think they're a good team. Number 3, I'd probably put the Bucks. And at number 4, I'd have to put the Rams there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to put the Rams there. I don't believe in the 49ers, man, even though they lead the NFC West.
Just keep winning.
I don't believe in them, though. I think they're fool's gold, man. And you know what? The same thing could be said of the Niners. I mean, the Rams. 49ers and Rams. Some people say the same thing about the Rams, that they're fool's gold. You know, one team that has been quietly winning despite having a shitty quarterback, the Vikings. JJ McCarthy ain't it, bro. And I think
they put up over 40 points with Carson.
And I think Wentz might be the answer to that Vikings team right here. Vikings right now in the NFC North are 2-1, tied with the Packers, man. I think that Vikings team, it can make some noise. The Lions are still in the hunt too. There's 3 teams that are tied in the NFC North. You have the Packers, Vikings, and the Lions. Bears, they just got the one lowly win against the Cowboys. And then you have that NFC South, which of course the Bucks are winning right now and leading that division right there, 3-0. And then you got the Panthers at 1-2, Falcons at 1-2, and of course the Saints. They know the assignment, Mike. Come on, 0-3, bro.
You mentioned Carson Wentz. Keep in mind Sam Darnold, who's now the quarterback of the Seahawks, led them to a 14-3 record last year. You don't need to be in that offense with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and all those guys. You don't need to have a prolific quarterback out there. You just need to have someone who doesn't make mistakes. And Carson Wentz could be that guy, but they have that pressure there because J.J. McCarthy was drafted in the top 10 to be the savior franchise quarterback of that team.
He ain't it, man.
They let go of Darnold, who is not a good quarterback, but he's good enough to not make mistakes, and he's good enough to run that particular offense, right? We saw in prior years Kirk Cousins do well in that offense, right? It doesn't take a Josh Allen to win over there. But Carson Wentz, he's just a vet, man. And I know it's his sixth team in 6 years, and the first player in NFL history to start for 6 different teams in 6 different seasons. But he knows what he's doing out there. He's not good. He just, but he's good enough to not make mistakes. He doesn't do what he used to do back in the day when he was with the Eagles and throw hand grenades out there. I would be, if I was a Vikings fan, I'd have my hands up in the air like, which one do we want? Same thing for the 49ers, Joe. They might have a solid record right now, but who do you want as quarterback over there? Do you want Mac or do you want Brock? You know, I mean, you can make an argument that it could go either way.
Oh man, Brock's look good, dude.
Well, Mac got the win last week.
And Mac got the win. So, I mean, that's a good problem to have, your 49ers, you know. I mean, both quarterbacks, let's say, aren't going to be like world beaters. They just do enough to win. You know, they're decent quarterbacks. They're good quarterbacks. There's nothing wrong with that, being a good quarterback. Yeah. You know, don't make mistakes. Don't throw interceptions. Just play a clean game. You give your team a chance.
Mac Jones, last 2 weeks for the Niners, getting victories over the Saints and the Cardinals. 563 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 98.1 rating. Clean ball, Joe. Clean ball. 1 bad pass. Clean ball. Over in the AFC, Joe, if we're going to give a power rankings on the AFC, is it weird that in the top 5, I don't have the Kansas City Chiefs at all? Like,
no,
I mean, they still have Mahomes. They finally got their first victory.
They are what their record says they are, Mike.
They are. And that's a very good way of putting it, Joe. And I'm calling up the standings right now. The Bills have a losing record. You have Buffalo, who's undefeated at 3-0. The teams with winning records, like Cincinnati, who has without Joe Burrow, 2-1. Pittsburgh, who has a 40-some-odd-year-old Aaron Rodgers at 2-1. You've got Indianapolis at 3-0 with Danny Dimes. They don't call him Danny Dimes anymore, Joe. They call Daniel Jones Indiana Jones now. Jacksonville, 2-1. Trevor Lawrence has had a crap career, but he's at 2-1. And then you got the Clippers, the Chargers at 3-0. I would go like this, Joe. Number 1 on my power rankings for the AFC is the Buffalo Bills.
Yep. Okay.
I'd go Indy 2 because that running game with Jonathan Taylor is amazing, and Tyler Warren at tight end, he's the new Brock Bowers. Give me Indianapolis at 2. Give me the Chargers at 3. I think the 3 undefeated teams are the 3 best teams in that conference. Number 4, God, there isn't a 4. Baltimore at 1 and 2. I have Baltimore over Cincinnati and Pittsburgh because we know what they can do any given Sunday, right? They have a higher upside than Cincinnati. Like, come on, who do you rather have as quarterback? 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, a backup for the Bengals, or would you rather have Lamar Jackson? So I'm gonna put the Ravens at 4, even though they are 1 and 2, and at 5. I suppose I would say the Jacksonville Jaguars. And look at who's in last place right now, Joe? Last place right now in the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs, sitting there at 1 and 2. Interesting, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, I mean, I got the Bills at number 1. At number 2, I'd have to go with the Chargers, bro. And then I'd put the Colts at number 3. And then at number 4, Oh man, that one's a tough one. I think at number 4, I'd go with the Jags.
Yeah.
And then at number 5, at my number 5, because your record says who you are right now, I'd have to go with the Steelers, man. I think the Steelers are better than the Bengals. The Bengals are going to start falling off. I think the Steelers with an Aaron Rodgers, 40-something-year-old Aaron Rodgers, they can still get it done. They can still get it done. But the problem is that with Aaron Rodgers at that age, he's not going to be a consistent quarterback anymore. He's kind of
No.
fallen off a little bit. There's going to be some games where he looks his age, and there's going to be some games where he's going to come back and he's going to give you little flashes of what he once was. Combine that all together, I think the Steelers can be one of these teams that sneaks in as a wild card. But I think Aaron
All they
Rodgers
do
is
is
going to be
make
all right.
playoffs, dude. All the Steelers
Yeah.
do is win 10 games. They win 10
Yeah.
games every year, no matter who. Dude, I can be quarterback and get that to 10 games, to 10 victories. That's just what they do. Frank asking the question, no, Michael Carlos. He's supposed to jump on right at 10:30. It is 10:30
He's on right now.
He is right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring him on, my man. Let's bring him on.
Let's go ahead and bring in Puro.
There he
There he
is.
is.
and Mike, Mr. Carlos, we give you a nickname because we love you, man. No other
love
reason.
you, man.
We love you.
If the chat hadn't given you a nickname, that means that they don't like you. When they make fun of you and they give you a nickname, you're one of us now, Michael Carlos. That's why we gave you the nickname of Puro.
One of us. One of us. Okay, so Michael Carlos, how you doing, my man? How you doing today?
Oh man, it's been a real busy week. I was on KLRN, or I'm going to be on KLRN tonight. I was over on the River City News, and now I'm here. And I'm just traveling the city from the north side to the south side, just asking people what they think about Project Marvel, right? Because we know what the mayor thinks, we know what the other mayor thinks. We know what the politicians think, but we're a month and a half out. So let's get a perspective. Let's get a straw poll. See what the concerns are, and maybe the holes in the Spurs campaign, especially after their Luann Platter mailer. Which I mean, I don't know. I just think using a twice bankrupt cafeteria chain to try and sell your arena project.
Wait. Okay, first of all, we do have a super chat from Drew Show we'll get to after the interview with Michael Carlos. So, Drew, thank you so much for the support. We'll get to that in a moment. Explain to me what happened at Luby's for those who don't know.
Right. Okay. So the Spurs sent out mailers. I don't know exactly what areas they targeted. Some people got them, some people didn't. And it said something like, a San Antonians know a good deal when they see one, like a Luann Platter and project. They were basically comparing the arena project to a good as a deal as a Luann Platter. And they also said underneath it, right? They said taxpayers will pay ni un centavo for the arena. And it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, that just seems like they're trying a little too hard. I don't think anyone from San Antonio wrote that mailer, to be honest.
And, so it tastes as delicious as a Fuddruckers burger is what you're saying, right? Just something that doesn't exist anymore. That's funny. But I saw that photo, Joe, and if you can put that photo up, Joe, of Michael over at the Pearl.
And you were going to ask me that, Mike, because I got it ready to go.
Were you trying to mimic that guy on the meme that says, prove me wrong? Where he said, he changed my mind or whatever the case may be. Were you trying to do that? By the way, respect the Fred's Fish Fry. Very puro.
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, sure. That was the inspiration, but it's like, I'm not going to. If you want to talk to me about Project Marvel, come and talk to me. And I'm not even really giving feedback. I'm not debating people. I just want to know what people's number one concern is about the project and kind of just do some amateur data collecting since, is it as close as people think it is? Is it going to be a blowout victory for the Spurs? And I'll be honest, the responses that I've gotten so far, I mean, the number one concern is something that I didn't think about. And the issue that keeps coming up is traffic. Yeah. So people have told me, if the Spurs came out with like a traffic study or some improvement plan on how they're going to improve traffic around the Alamo Dome down there, then they would be more likely to vote for it. And I think that's interesting. I think the Spurs should maybe consider putting out some data or some, solutions to that. Because, y'all have been to the Dome. I've been to the Dome. And it
Yeah.
sucks getting out of that parking lot.
Mhm.
I mean, it really does. I spent 2 hours trying to get out of there one time after a concert. So I think that's a valid concern.
You
It
know, I
is
was
a
going to
valid
tell you one
concern, yeah.
thing, Michael Carlos here. I don't know if you've ever been to a game at the Frost Center, right?
I've been out there, of course.
Okay, so when you get there, you know, there's traffic just trying to get into the game. You know, especially on a big game, you know, big matchup. A lot of fans go to the game. There's traffic just trying to get into lots 1, 2, 3. And of course, you have the other lots that are way in the back. Trying to get out is a nightmare at times when you have these big games and you have a lot of people there, sold out arena. And I think people have trauma from that kind of stuff with both the Alamo Dome and then going to and from and trying to get out from the Frost Center. And I think that's a good thing that not one side has brought up is traffic control, right? A traffic study, like you said. Gina Ortiz Jones hasn't said much about that. The Spurs and their mailers and their commercial that they have now, you know, for Proposition A and whatnot, they haven't said much about it either. So I think that's one thing that the constituents here, the voters, are really concerned about. That's interesting to me. I would have
Well,
not thought about traffic until you brought it up.
well, Michael, let me ask you this question though, to kind of add to it. Are they talking about traffic during the construction phase, or are they talking about the traffic during and after games? Because it doesn't matter what facility you go to, whether it be where the Cowboys play, where the Texans play, where the Rockets play, wherever, UT football. It is a nightmare to get out of any place that has 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people going to. Was the traffic situation about the construction, or was it about the pre-post game experience?
So the people at the Pearl were talking to me about pre and post game experience because I guess they have trauma from UTSA games or concerts or whatever. But that was their concern. The new concern that I learned about yesterday from like some local business owners at Market Square, and then also in Southtown, is the construction component. So Market Square, I guess they've been dealing with this construction on De La Rosa and the streets over there for 3 years, and they're saying it's killing their business. So you're going to have this Project Marvel going down, which will hinder their ability to, for foot traffic. And then you're also going to have the baseball stadium being built 3 blocks away. So
Mhm.
the people at Market Square are saying we need some financial assistance from the city before we can consider voting for this, or else we're just going to, shrivel up and die. Our businesses are going to die if we do not get any financial help from the city. So that's, I think, something the Spurs and the city should also be considering. But then there's also that South Alamo project in Southtown, and apparently that's gone completely haywire. And there was a pretty bad tense meeting between some city officials and some business owners down there in Southtown over that construction. And now I think they're having second thoughts, saying we've already had to deal with this construction for over a year. The city's mismanaged it to a point where they paid $1 million to pave it over for the Final Four just to rip it up again. It's hurting their foot traffic. I think there's a disconnect between small business owners and a trust in the city to get construction projects done on time without destroying small local businesses.
Well,
So
I know
it's both.
I do know the areas over there that you're talking about. Market Square, where like Mi Tierra and La Margarita is, right across from Santa Rosa Hospital, has been under construction for quite some time. It's uninviting to go in, so I can see why those places would have issues and not have as much foot traffic as, because they're really only getting the traffic from those who go to the restaurants. It seems like
Yeah.
there's no ability to go in there, and I know there's fiesta events and whatnot, but it is a nightmare going in there. I know La Villita is dead in the water right now. La Villita, which used to be a thing, because of all the construction going on by the Hilton Palacio del Rio.
Let's not forget
It-
the St. Mary's Strip at one time was under some construction as well, and it was affecting a lot of
Right.
businesses. Same thing with Alamo Street, the area around the Alamo, as they're doing their construction and all that. They shut down a street, which impacts those vendors there or those small businesses as far as foot traffic goes as well. So what Carl is saying, they're interested to know how that's going to impact their business bottom line, because they don't want to go under because they're paving the way for Project Marvel.
Pretty much. Yep. That's
So what's the soonest? Okay, let's say that all the propositions go the Spurs way, and they're going to move forward with phase one, which is, because as you've mentioned before, Project Marvel is like the total vision, but first part of it is the arena first, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if that goes through, and then the Spurs are going to build this arena downtown at what used to be the Institute of Texan Cultures, right under the Tower of Americas. What is the earliest for them to begin construction or demolition of what's there, where the traffic would become an issue because of that particular project?
So I believe the term sheet, because right, they still have to pass that infrastructure bond in May as well. So I think the earliest in which they could start breaking ground on it essentially is late next year. So fall, maybe about this time next year is when construction would start. And I think it was like a 3 or 4 year project for the arena, if I'm not wrong. And it would open in like 2031, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
that
Sam-
would be, yeah.
Sam Salinas with a great comment on our chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera says, demolition has already begun. Talking because it's a
That's
two
true.
Texan
He's
culture. But
Hey,
my
we
favorite
got
part
a
was
super chat too, Mike, that we got to address from the Drew Show.
yeah.
That one came in. It's regarding Puro.
Here comes the money.
There you go,
As,
Mike.
as Puro seen the old farts, the mayor drags out, they all eat at Luby's. It's perfect messaging. Boston here is a lib. Puro, don't start stinking data. Don't read stinking data. Okay, so it's funny because the ongoing joke, thank you for the chat, Drew. The funny thing about it is like we always ask the question, who are all these people that are behind the mayor, right? Whether it be Cops Metro Alliance people, they're all, they're viejitos, or just old people, right? They're old people. None of them either A, have a job, or B, own a business. It's just like
Retired.
they're retired, and they're not retired on any other side of town other than the inner city. That is basically Gina Ortiz Jones's base right there, because I would take her more seriously if I saw a business leader out there going, against, right? But when all the business leaders line up against her, and we had that sound last week from April Ancita from the Ancita Automotive Group, who came out and said, dude, Gina didn't even want this job. That she has the appearance as though this was her consolation prize because she really wanted to be in Washington as a congressman.
You got to tip your hat to April and Sarah for saying that too, man.
So, I don't know if you saw that sound though.
I didn't see that. Where did she say that? On that
On
Eddie-
Instagram.
on Instagram?
Or
Yeah,
look
she
on her
was-
Instagram.
She was on Instagram, and she was on a podcast.
Okay.
She was on a podcast where she says she didn't want this job. And Joe, if you can find it, Joe, I mean,
try to find
it's
it.
great sound. She just went off on her, and she
Yep.
just basically said, "No one likes her. Like no one in the business world likes her." And it's funny. Go ahead.
Well, I did have some people at the Pearl come up to me, and they said, verbatim, they said, I don't like the mayor, but I do wonder why they didn't do a second economic impact study. And I think I don't know how that messaging resonated with people, and I think that there are people saying I don't like her, but I think she had a point with that. Well, why didn't we just do another study? And so it's an interesting. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say because you can get whatever study you want based on whoever is the one commissioning the study, because you question the messenger is basically it. And she was
I got the
muddying
audio.
waters.
Yeah, I gotta
Okay.
listen to this audio. Go for it.
Is that when we first saw Gina, she was doing, let's just be candid, is when she was running for U.S. Congress twice. It didn't work out. I don't actually think she wanted the San Antonio job. I feel like it's a consolation job for her at this time. I felt like Rolando Pablos lived here, wanted San Antonio to do well, wasn't saying, oh, well, I didn't get to do this or that, the other. As a matter of fact, he's taking away from something that's incredibly successful right now to volunteer his time to San Antonio to help us have economic generation that benefits everybody. And right now, I just see somebody that is in a position and wants everybody to know that she is in fact, hi, I'm the mayor. Hi, I'm the mayor. Hi, this is how we're going to do it. But you can't do that. And also that position isn't even structured that way. The fact that we have all of these votes that matter means that you actually have to make sure that everybody is working together for the greater good instead of creating things that distract us.
I think that's the
Right.
beauty of municipal government.
Right.
All right. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That is some strong language from April
Look
and
at-
Sarah.
You got the wheels turning with Puro now. He's going to go and write an article. Mike.
Now,
April
and
and
Sarah went
Sarah
off.
Burns Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones.
She went
Probably.
off. She went off for a little while, basically saying that every business leader in San Antonio wants this to happen. Why do we have somebody here who isn't even from here? Right? I know, and we see Gina Ortiz Jones. She's doing the whole thing by going to John Jay High School football games. She's going to UTSA football games. But at the end of the day, she ain't from here. She ain't from here. And Mike, how much money do you think we could make? And would I be thrown out of a Spurs game if we wore an Area 210 podcast T-shirt that just said "Shut up, Gina" in the font that this is right here? Just shut up, Gina.
Well, you would maybe get some cheers if you got on the jumbotron. I mean, she is not popular. She's not popular at
No.
City Hall. She is not popular amongst the general public. Like I said, people came up to me like, I don't like her. But I think but I don't think people are going to vote for Project Marvel because they don't like her, because what they're saying is she may have had a point on that. And I think there's a distrust between the public and the city. I mean, you keep saying like the business community is in favor of it. And that's true. The large business community. So the Tim Morrows, the April and Sarahs, the USAA people, the Frostbank people, right? They're in favor of it. But the local business community, right? That's going to have to deal with the construction downtown. They have questions and they kind of want concessions. All right, you want to build it, fine, but I have to stay in business and I still have to make a living while all of this is going on. So if the Spurs are serious about winning this election in November, which I think they are, they need to start hitting the ground like I'm doing and asking people, how can we get your vote? A mailer about a Luann platter isn't going to cut it. And if this vote was to happen tomorrow, based on what I've heard from people, I'm not convinced it would pass.
Yeah, we
Do
got
you
some
think-
super chats stacking up, Mike. So we got to read these as well.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Trusha says,
Yes,
Piro ain't here from here either. Love answer, but he's been here longer. He's been here longer. You better talk about about Gina attitudes from Text Message. Thank you so much for the chat. So I think that the galvanized support for the Spurs is going to happen October 22nd when the NBA season starts.
If they win, they better win those first 3 games. I would, if they come out and lose 3 games in a row before that vote, I don't know. That could have an impact on the election.
It could, but here's the thing: it's the messaging that they're going to have. They're going to be like, we have 20,000 people, 18,000 here in this arena. If you all vote for it, it's going to win because no one votes in San Antonio. Shoot, the 18,000 people that vote for that are going to be there probably would be enough to carry it, right? There's not a lot of votes in San Antonio. Well, how many people voted for mayor? What, 70,000?
I think it was less. I'd
It was
have
only
to. Yeah, I'd have to look.
very
It,
low
it-
turnout.
it was like 17% turnout, which is actually high for a local
All right.
election.
Yeah. Well, we have the super chat that we do got to read with by the Drew Show. That one was a $5 super chat, Mike.
Here comes the money.
And there he sasays, Puro. Is
Why
that guy from Do the
why
Right Thing.
are we trashing Kirk Gass, man? I do appreciate the
Oh my
support.
God!
But
I
we're
didn't
not-
see what
we're
it
not-
was. I didn't
We're
see
not going
what
to trash
it was.
this. We'll send the $5 back. I mean,
Oh my
there's,
God!
there's no
fine.
point. There's no point.
And we
you-
have another one from the Drew Show.
Direct that towards me.
With your-
Love,
He
love
says-
Encita. I do remember the commercials back in the day of Ernesto Encita. That's how long we've known her, man, because she was like a 19, 20-year-old in these commercials back in the day. And now she's, a grown-ass woman getting DUIs.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to go
God.
there, Mike. So, Mike, okay, we're gonna have you now. You've gone to you've set up shop at the Pearl.
Yep.
Pearl's bougie, right? The Pearl's bougie.
Ugh.
I love the restaurants there, but it's bougie. Where else are you going to set up shop to go get public sentiment when it comes to it all? And do you
So-
have, and one last question about that, dude? A follow up question. Do you believe that the people who are against it are more likely to vote than the ones who are for it? Because again, you can run a poll of 100 people and it'd be 70-30 one way or the other, but it's really who's the likely voter that matters. What do you see when it comes to that?
Right. So, so we went to Market Square over the weekend. We were at the Pearl, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. So the next stop, I think the one place where you can get everyone from San Antonio in one place is probably the North Star Mall. Because
Yeah.
for some reason, right, everyone from every part of town has to go there for something at some point. So I think that'll be a really good opportunity to really see what people are saying. I was going to go to Pika Pika Plaza next week and get the South Side perspective. I'm still looking for a place on the West and the East Side. I'll be frank, I have not spoken to anyone on the East Side yet, so I'd be really curious to get those perspectives. I would say, to answer your second question, I get the sense that people who are against it are more likely to vote than people that are for it. And that's just the sense I'm getting. I'm also seeing kind of interest in local politics from people that don't traditionally vote. Specifically, I would say Hispanic women on the South and West Side who do not traditionally vote, but have come up to me and said, I'm going to vote against this. And I have not voted in 10 or 15 years. So what I think you might see is a low turnout election with high turnout and usually in areas that don't traditionally vote regularly. I'll also say the interesting thing is I think this is actually really kind of a battle of the sexes election, because a lot of women, the majority of women I've spoken to said they're against it, and a majority of men I've spoken to said they're for it. So it's a very interesting election.
I was actually going to ask that question. So we were on the same wavelength when it came to all that, because I kind of think that maybe there are some people who want to rally around Gina because they feel that she's not being given a fair shot. Although I think Gina has shot herself in the foot like 5 or 6 times already, right? She doesn't get a free pass, right? My thing about it though, I think the turnouts going to be high. I think the media coverage is going to be so big on this, not only from the Current, but from all other newspapers, all TV stations. It's going to be round the clock coverage. It's going to be a higher turnout than people think it's going to be. Personal opinion. It'll probably have a higher turnout than the mayor's race was going to be, because the mayor's race was a field of 27 people. They got whittled down to 2 people that nobody wanted. This is something that I think is going to be where it's like, I don't think it's going to be a low turnout. I think it's going to be a high turnout. And I think the higher the turnout, the more it is in favor of Project Marvel. Low turnout probably favors Gina Ortiz-Jones.
I was going to bring up this topic of discussion for you both as well. Gina Ortiz-Jones has been very vocal coming out on local television, right? Namely KSAT 12 and News 4, right? They've given her that platform to come out and, voice her discontent for Project Marvel, things that she wants to change and whatnot, giving the people something to think about. The other thing that you haven't heard from, though, is you haven't heard from anybody from the Spurs organization come out and be given that opportunity. I don't know if they're just not wanting to be vocal and come out on local television, but I think it's something that needs to change. As you're getting closer and closer to the month of November, you're kind of running out of time. And if you don't have a way to come out and be vocal and go ahead and, let's say, clarify some things for the voters, when they go to the voting poll, their vote might be swayed the other way and vote no against Project Marvel. I just think Gina's been given the platform. I think somebody from the Spurs organization needs to come out and get on TV as well. They're kind of behind the gun.
I agree, Joe, 100%. I mean, from what I've seen so far, the Spurs campaign is being very reactive to all these things, and that's how you lose a campaign, is by being reactive. I would assume this week, just because this has come back into the public sphere of conversation, that they're re-strategizing. That is kind of like what I said earlier. The mailers aren't going to cut it. But I do want to circle back to what Mike said about high turnout. I don't, obviously, right, us three, we're talking about it, the people in the chat, they're talking about it. People on Twitter are talking about it. But if you just go out on the street with my sign, I had several people come up to me who live in San Antonio and say, "Oh, what's Project Marvel?" And I said, "Oh, well, it's the Spurs arena." And they said, "I thought they already passed that." So there's confusion about what's already been voted on. There's a big chunk of the community that think that it's already been approved because of that council vote. There was a lot of people who didn't even know there was an election in November. So I think both sides should realize that and start really hitting the ground. I mean, canvassing, going door to door. I mean, it's interesting how many voters are kind of ill-informed, and that's why I think it could be a very low turnout election.
Where the Spurs are failing, though, is that speech that was given by Sean Elliott at City Council chambers. That should be taken and put as a commercial. It should be put on all social media outlets for the Spurs, because they have what they have that Gina Ortiz-Jones doesn't have are hundreds of thousands of San Antonians who follow them on Instagram, follow them on TikTok, follow them on Twitter, and they should be inundating us with, here's what, I mean, just the other day we had former Spur Avery Johnson, Spurs legend Avery Johnson, coming out in favor of Project Marvel, and have them drive it home, because it cannot be the Holt family. It cannot be that. It has to be David Robinson. Unleash David Robinson onto the community. Because who else? Who do you trust more in this? Who does the Safe Safety trust more? Gina Ortiz-Jones or David Robinson? They need to unleash David Robinson. They need to unleash Sean Elliott. They need to go have them do TikToks, have them do Instagram posts. They need to have them do social media posts. They need to have them at community events. They need to be like, oh, Gina Ortiz-Jones is going to be over here? Great. Let's go send David Robinson over there. Let's fight fire with fire. Because who's more respected in the community? This carpetbagger or David Robinson? This carpetbagger or Avery Johnson? This carpetbagger or Sean Elliott? You know, people who not only were stars and celebrities in San Antonio, but also made it their home to be here. How else can we follow you, man? We're gonna move on, but I was gonna just call you Puro from here on out, man.
I like the nickname. That's a good nickname. I'm real honored to have one. I am.
Great.
But yeah, just follow me at Michael Carlos Reports on Instagram and at Michael Carlos on Twitter, and I'll do the best to keep you all informed. We have some street interviews coming out later this week and the next weekend. So yeah, there we go. That's my Twitter account. And thanks for having me on, and stay tuned. I'll be sure to keep y'all updated.
All right, Michael Carlos,
Yeah.
San Antonio
Thanks,
Current.
man.
He's one of us. One of
One
us.
of us.
One of us. Thanks for jumping on.
All right,
Russ.
thank you,
I
man.
appreciate it. Hey, we had some super chats that came on in.
Yeah, some of them are good. Some of them, Drew just went off on a handle again. But yeah, let me go ahead and get to them. We had one
Yeah,
coming in from Midtown, Texas.
Yeah, it says Mike is from Conroe, Michael's from Boston, Joe is from San Antonio. Hey, man, I'm 48 years old. I've lived 43 of my years in San Antonio. I get to call San Antonio home, and I hope to be coming home in the next few months.
Look at another $1.99 super chat coming in from Jason. He says,
Joe is your man.
Puro.
Now, is this all about my Luke Casey bag? Is that what that is?
The Luke Casey bag, the purse. It's a nice bag. It's a big bag. It's a big purse, man. We got another some super chat coming in here. This one's from Matt Lerma.
Here comes the money.
He says, "Media Day around the corner. Let's
Let's
effing go."
effing go.
Shut up, Gina. And you know
Amen.
what? Media Day, if you don't know, is going to be September the 29th, which means this coming Monday, the Spurs will have their Media Days. So you can go ahead and hear from the players. And, you know, that's something that San Antonians get quite excited for. The big Media Day, listening to the players, listening to the coach. You know, maybe they'll have a pop sighting there at the game at the Media Day. And we Drew, man, I was like, what triggers him, man? Like, why does he get so upset?
I don't know. There's sometimes he gets in a mood. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I mean, we're having a nice show, man. We're just having a nice, friendly conversation about
That's
things.
why we can't have nice things.
I know, making fun of the publication and what. Hey, man, an outlet's an outlet, dude. An outlet's an outlet. You know, we have to be nice to people that are here because they're strangers, and it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Like don't say that something you wouldn't say to them in person. You know what I'm saying?
Look, we have a new face here, Ria Fernandez. and she's joined, and she was had some good, chats here that she was putting up here for us. And she was saying that both the city manager and the Spurs GC said it might be a concert venue, but we don't know. Uh, that's a thing, they need clarification. And the Spurs need to do a better job, I think, about coming out in the public eye. And what better way to come out in the public eye than to get on one of the local news stations, namely KSAT or News 4. KSAT does this thing where they talk with some of the politicians here locally, especially as you get closer and closer to election day. But we have yet to hear from anybody from inside the Spurs organization come out and publicly speak on that channel and kind of add some clarification to a lot of the things that the public does not know about. They have big question marks. Oh, I thought it was already voted on. They don't really know what it all means. And I think somebody from the Spurs organization needs to come out and clarify that.
Here comes the money.
There you go,
Yeah, it
Mike.
says the mayor's also pushing misinformation. She talks about tax money that can be used for other things, which cannot be, because these tax dollars, as Matt is alluding to, are come from tourism, and tourism dollars go to certain parts of the budget, not just anything that she wants to deal with. So that is the misinformation that she's throwing out there. But going back to that comment about it being a concert venue, it doesn't have to be just concerts like music. It can be comedy shows. It could be church things. It could be a lot of different things other than just like music. One of the problems the city of San Antonio has when it comes to music, because we always hear this all the time, Joe, is we don't get the good shows. We don't get the good concerts, right? I mean, we'll get, the aging rock star, right? we'll get Def Leppard, right? We'll
Journey?
get Metallica. We'll get Journey. We'll get Shakira, right?
Guns N' Roses, brother.
But what we don't, and I know that San Antonio recently had The Weeknd, but The Weeknd's also kind of 10 years past his prime. And I know Chris Brown's coming to town.
Yeah.
10 years past his prime as well, but still very good. But like when somebody up and coming comes up, whether it be a Sabrina Carpenter or Olivia Rodrigo or whatever the next big pop star is, or the next big pop rock band is, right? They don't come to San Antonio. And part of the reason why they don't come to San Antonio is because of the proximity San Antonio has to Austin. And a lot of the venues in Austin basically tell people, do not go to San Antonio. If you want to play here, you're not going to San Antonio, because they want to draw that business from San Antonio to Austin when it comes to these shows. So a lot of the centers out there, like the Moody or ACL, all those places, they will say they want a 150-mile radius of you're not going to play anywhere around. So they're saying don't come to Waco. Don't go to any other place other than Austin. If you're going to come to Austin, you're going to go Austin only. San Antonio would have to break through to that, because this arena would be vacant. Not totally. It's going to have concerts. It's going to have, church events. It's going to have various things. They can retrofit it to other things, and it's going to be a bigger part of the rodeo when all that comes to play.
Yeah, they were saying that Bobby Pettis from the Spurs was on KSAT. I didn't see him on the KSAT 12. So I'll go and look for that. That's interesting.
Looking to see if we missed any super chats here, Joe.
Yeah, I'm looking down. Drew shows there, but I mean, he's wanting to argue and fight with people. I'm just like, God, no. We got an incoming chat here. This one's from Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs. He's saying, Spurs have been making the local TV rounds. Marvel's Spurs political consultant has come on Low Spurs twice. Spurs attorney Pettis has been on KSAT. Okay.
Yeah, but the problem is no one. Well, what's that line, Joe? No one cares. And it's not your comment, Jeff. No one cares about the Spurs attorney going out there. No one cares about the Spurs having a talking head in a suit. What would drive the conversation in San Antonio, and I'm talking about from the Spurs perspective, what they should be doing is unleashing Sean Elliott, is unleashing David Robinson, Avery Johnson, unleash the legends out on this. Because I'll be honest with you, Joe, if I'm flipping through channels and here in Conroe, guess what, Joe? Because I have Fubo and I plug into the system that I'm still billed out of 78245. I still get KSAT, I still get Ken's, and I get WOAI over here, right? Joe, if I was flipping through the channels and I saw the lawyer for the Spurs out there, Do you think I would stop it and watch it?
No, but if it was
No.
Sean Elliott, you would.
Exactly. If it was Avery Johnson, I would. If it was David Robinson, I would. No one cares about a Spurs executive that cannot be identified at HEB. If you cannot identify them at HEB, then no one cares.
Yeah.
And that's why the Spurs are playing bad politics, are playing bad at politics, is because they don't know how the game is being played. They need to have a hype man, Joe, a hype man like Michael Irvin is for himself.
God.
We're gonna get to that in a moment, but let's give some love to our sponsor, P.F. Chang's La Cantera. Again, happy hour today from 3 to 6. If you're hungry for lunch, head on over to La Cantera. Go visit Sean over at P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of P.F. Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. P.F. Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, again, the location that we're talking about is the one at La Cantera Mall, which is celebrating its 20-year anniversary. They do a fantastic job. And now the weather's getting cooler, Joe. So for those who like to eat outside, go get brunch on a weekend, that's the place where you want to be. P.F. Chang's La Cantera on Wednesday, they do half-off bottles of wine and champagne. Happy hour every day from 3 to 6. Get the Japanese old-fashioned. You will not be disappointed when it comes to it. Joe, we have to give our picks in a little bit to NFL Week 4. But before we get into that, the All the Smoke podcast we see with former Spurs Steven Jackson. Oh, you dropped off, Joe.
I'm back.
We had Michael Irvin on a couple of weeks ago, and I just stumbled upon one of the segments on there on TikTok. I said it to the media share, by the way, if you want to play it. They asked the question, who are the top 5 wide receivers of all time? And do you think Michael Irvin was being, I don't know, what's the phrase? Do you think Michael Irvin was talking low about himself? Do you think he was?
Was he feeling himself?
Was he feeling himself, or was he being humble? That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Was he feeling humble, Joe? Michael Irvin, when asked if he's who are the top 5 wide receivers of all time, this is what he had to say.
Let me go ahead and put that up here.
All the time. I get people all the time talking about this. I always tell people, I think Jerry Rice is the greatest player of all time. I think Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time. But as soon as you finish with that Ian Rice, you better start with the M and Michael. That's what I'm talking about. So Jerry won, you too. I'm gonna go. You talking physically gifted or actually play what they did on the field? Because physically gifted, you start looking at a Megatron. You start looking at an Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson, I look at, when I'm in the Hall of Fame, I look around and see Jerry Rice, I see his quarterbacks. I'm in there with my quarterback. I can see Sterling Sharp, I see Brett Favre. I look at Andre Johnson, and I'm like, damn, how'd you get in this room? His quarterbacks ain't coming. You see, those are different kind of dudes right there. Andre Johnson got in this room, and his quarterback is known, his nickname is the Pick Six. That dude is, when you're talking about physically gifted dude. Now you talking about results and physical gifts, and you got to put in a Randy Moss, that size, that big. I'm gonna tell you a guy I love. One of my top 5 all time is Andre Reed.
Andre Reed.
Nobody going, put Andre Reed. I'm throwing Andre Reed.
He was a big receiver too.
Right there. Andre Reed was the bad man, inside, outside, prior to what they got out and what they're doing now. So Jerry Rice, I'm putting me in there. I want to go bad boy. Andre Johnson was such a bad boy, just a bad boy. But I'll go Randy Moss, Andre Reed, and you put T.O. in there. I put T.O.'s in there.
Okay, first of all, he's feeling himself, right?
Yeah.
You are a Cowboy fan. I'm a Cowboy hater. I'm going to try to come at it from a very analytical point of view. The number one wide receiver of all time is, in fact, Jerry Rice. And I will, and if I live to be another 50 years, the answer will still be Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, 22,895 yards receiving for his career. Not only is that the all-time most yards for a career, Joe, it is more than 5,000 yards more than number 2. He played for 20 seasons almost. Jerry Rice, living legend, multiple Super Bowl rings. He is the best wide receiver of all time, Joe. But for Michael Irvin to come out and say that he's the second best wide receiver of all time, and I know he won a lot of rings, 3 rings for the Cowboys back in the 90s on a stacked team full of Hall of Famers with Emmitt Smith, one of the best running backs of all time behind him, with the greatest offensive line of all time in front of him. Where do you think Michael Irvin, I'm looking at the all-time receiving yards, Joe. He ranks himself top number 2. Where do you think he is on all-time yards receiving for a career?
Oh, let's see. I would say he has to at least be top 15, top 20.
33rd.
Jeez. But he's number 2 in his mind.
He's number 2 in his mind. Now, keep in mind, when I look at this list of receiving yards, it does include some tight ends, such as Tony Gonzalez, such as, some of the great tight ends, along with Travis Kelce along the way. But just to give you some context here, Devontae Adams of the more yards receiving than him. Other receivers who've had more yards receiving than Michael Irvin over the years: Derek Mason, Hines Ward, Jimmy Smith, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had more. Brandon
Tony Gonzalez,
Monk, Irving Fryer, Mike Evans, who currently plays right now, is 22nd all time. Jason Witten had more yards receiving than Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was a very, very good wide receiver on a stacked team.
You know who has more receiving yards than Michael Irvin? Terrell Owens.
Yeah. My all-time 5, Joe. Let's go through it, Joe.
Right.
I will go number 1, Jerry Rice.
Okay.
Number 2, from pure athleticism, skill, Randy Moss. Number 3, I'm not going to go with the athletic marvel of Megatron. A name that is quiet, that if he played for a big market would be a bigger name. Marvin Harrison, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvin Harrison was so good. I'll go number 4, Megatron. No, I'll go 4, Terrell Owens. Number 5, Megatron. Calvin Johnson.
That's respectable. You're always going to have Rice as number 1, right?
You have to.
Randy Moss, number 2.
Mhm.
Randy Moss was fantastic out there on the field. Some of the catches he was able to make out there, whether he played for the Vikings and then near the end of his career, he played for the Patriots for a bit there as well. You still can't discount the greatness that was Randy Moss. The other one, too, Terrell Owens was actually quite good back in his day as well. I think Terrell Owens deserves a spot out there. Now, this is where you could put other players here as well. So you're looking at all time and you're looking at rushing yards, impact as far as what a player had on there. And you have other like honorable mentions. Like, are we going to mention Julio Jones? We're not going to talk about him.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about DeAndre Hopkins. He's all right too,
Mhm.
Jason Witten, for a lot of the flack that he doesn't get enough credit for. He was good in his day, but he wasn't as flashy as some of the other top receivers that you have. Tony Gonzalez kind of goes unsung a bit,
Well, I look at it this way, Joe. My thing about Michael, like, for example, Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
That team was so stacked, you could have put 8 other quarterbacks in 1990, mid-1990s
Oh, yeah.
onto
They
that
would've got
roster.
their
They would have gotten a chip. They would have gotten a chip. Would they have gotten all 3? Maybe not. Would they have gotten 2? Probably. If you put Randall Cunningham on that team, Joe, he's winning chips. If you were to put Warren Moon behind, under center behind Stepnowski, you were going to get chips. It was going to happen. You were going to get rings by being part of that team. And the same thing goes with Michael Irvin. If you had put Isaac Bruce in Michael Irvin's position, Isaac Bruce would have done the exact same thing that Michael Irvin did, dude. Michael Irvin was a very good player. If you want to call him a top 10 wide receiver of all time, I don't fault you. That's fine. As people are pointing out on our thread that his career was cut short because of a neck injury. But he's out of his mind if he thinks he's number 2 all time, especially since we know that Randy Moss walked this earth. He's out of his mind.
Yeah. Irvin was a good player, though. I mean, I'm not going to say that he wasn't. I mean, it was great to have him as a Cowboy, and him with Troy Aikman. That was a dynamic duo that won some chips. I mean, Michael Irvin went up there and he had some spectacular catches when it mattered the most.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is that greatness, as far as how a player is remembered, happens when it really counts, in the heat of the battle. And you're in the NFL, Super Bowl there. You're in the greatest show on earth, the Super Bowl, and you make these spectacular catches. Remember years ago, that one receiver that had that spectacular catch for the Patriots, one-handed, kind of caught it on his helmet. Yeah. And that was like, wow, look at that catch. And that's what he was remembered by. Those are the things that define you as a player, being able to rise to these occasions. And I think Michael was one of those guys that he shined brightest when it mattered the most. When the lights were shown on him, he didn't fade. He kind of rose to the occasion.
But who was the main focal point of that offense, though, Joe? Wasn't it Emmett?
Emmett. It was a run game, So you had the thing back then when the Cowboys were stacked is that they had other players that they could go to. I mean, even going back to back when would they have Novacek? Little brother was squirrely, dude. You'd get him, you tackle him, and somehow he would just wiggle his way out and get another 2 or 3 extra yards on the play.
Drew Show coming out with a great comment here, $2 super chat, saying Isaac Bruce would have done all the rails of powder Irving did. I remember going to Radio Row, going to the Ditka and Ron Jaworski party over there in Phoenix.
Yeah,
and this was the time that Michael Irvin got accused of being inappropriate with a hotel employee, and it made the news and all that. They took him off the Super Bowl telecast and all that stuff. Michael Irvin, Jason Minix kept on telling me that he's clean, that he has found the way that they become friends. Because legitimately, Irving and Jason Minix are friends, right? Dude, I'm sorry. Michael Irvin either suffers from after effects of all the use of the pass or something, because that guy just profusely sweats. He sweats like Chris Farley and Down by the River skit. Just profusely sweating. And I remember that whole situation with that whole time where he allegedly said something inappropriate to that hotel employee, and Minix defending his guy, going, "Oh man, he didn't do it. Look at the video." And I'm like, I am looking at the video. He's being a jackass. He's invading people's space. Oh, he's not invading people's space because he's just tall. He's leaning in. I'm like, no, he's invading people's space. You can be tall and stand upright. You don't need to hover over a woman. You don't. Right? That's not it. But Michael Irvin, man, I listened to him on pregame telecasts. I listen to him in podcasts. He's either whacked out of his mind or he's still on it, man. Because I don't know, or he still suffers from the after effects of it. Speaking of which, by the way, some very upsetting news yesterday. Former Cincinnati Bengals star running back Rudy Johnson died at the age of 45. Committed suicide, potentially a CTE issue. His family and spokesperson want this to be looked into, because Rudy Johnson, I think he had an 8-year career. He backed up Corey Dillon for a while. He broke out. For those who play fantasy football, he had a good 3 or 4 year run. Rudy Johnson was a very, very good player. Not an excellent player, but a very, very good player. Had a long career in the NFL. Died at the age of 45 yesterday. The announcement made yesterday. Very, very sad.
Yeah, you know what we had too? We had another super chat. We had an address by Sam Salinas. I had to go back up because the chats were coming in fast and furious here.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
So this was when we're talking about, Spurs need to make an appearance on TV. And he was like, identified you HEB, Mike. Been on TV.
That is true. So I met Sam Salinas in person at the Alamo Ranch HEB, which is an HEB I never go to. I've only been to 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. I had gone to a church that Sunday morning down the road by Taft High School, and I was making my way back home. And instead of going through the traffic because it's the bottlenecks there on Cleveland on 1604, I decided to take Alamo Parkway. And I was like, oh, well, there's an HEB. Let me just go ahead and go there. And Sam Sliss introduced himself to me, and that's how we got to know each other, man. Very nice. I do
That's
remember.
cool, man.
Let's make our picks, Joe. We came back down to earth, Joe. Money line. Yes, last week's games, I was 10-6. You were 9-7. You did have the balls to make some bold predictions, right? But I was 10-6 money line. You were 9-7. However, against the spread, you were 8-8. I was 7-9. Both of us are still above 500 for the year when it comes to the spread. And when it comes to money line, I was 15-1 the week before, so I'm 25-7 the last 2 weeks. Let's make our picks for this game. We have a Thursday night game tonight. I believe it's Seattle against Arizona. Both teams at 2-1. Interesting game. Arizona is actually a very, very talented team, but their wide receivers who they've been drafting early in early rounds have not been performing very well. We mentioned Marvin Harrison, the legendary wide receiver. His son, Marvin Harrison Jr., the second, not playing so well as an NFL player. He packed on a lot of muscle for some reason over the offseason. Looks like David Boston all over again. But tonight we have a game. It's going to be on Amazon Prime Video. Kickoff at 7:15. 2-1 Cardinals hosting the 2-1 Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 1.5 on the road. Who you got?
On this one, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think they'll be able to go ahead and best the Cardinals. The problem is who's going to cover the spread. You got Seahawks or Cardinals covering the spread.
Well, I mean, the spread's pretty close. It's 1.5, so it's almost a pick 'em. You know, the Seahawks are a squirrely team. They have a new quarterback. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Saints. They lost to the Niners last week. The Cardinals start off the season 2-0. They beat the Saints. They beat the Panthers. And they too have lost to the Niners. So they have very similar paths right now. I think when in doubt, you go with the home team. So I'm going to take Arizona. So I'll take Arizona to cover and win this game. You're going to go with Seattle. I don't blame you. Seattle's favored to win, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, when in doubt, I'm gonna take the home team when it comes to it all.
Yeah.
Vikings and Steelers. Vikings 2-1 coming off a huge victory. They put on a lot of points. Some question as to who's the quarterback going to be this weekend. Is it going to be J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz? I almost want to hedge my bets a little bit and go, well, if it's Wentz, I'm going to go for Wentz. But the Steelers are at home. Minnesota favored to win this game. Again, when in doubt, go with the home team. Give me the Steelers, even though they're 2.5-point underdogs. I think they'll win the game and cover the spread.
Man, on mine, I think the Vikings go ahead and win this game. I think the Steelers will do enough to go ahead and cover the spread. I think it's going to be a close game, but I give the edge to the Vikings.
Okay. Like I said, Joe, I think they're coin flips either way. Commanders on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons coming off a 30-point. They got blown out against Carolina. Meantime, the Commanders got a victory with Marcus Mariota under center. Marcus Mariota going into Atlanta. That's a hard place to win. Yet another 1.5 spread, as Drew Show points out. Whenever you see a 1.5-point spread,
Yep.
it's a
Go with the
sucker's
over.
line. It's a sucker's line. I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. I think they bounce back. I think they have a bad taste in their mouth. 3-0. Atlanta's a hard place to play. It's a loud place to play. Mariota plays better on grass than he does on turf. Give me the Falcons.
I'm going to go with the Commanders on this one. I think the Commanders are going to go ahead and be able to beat the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons are very good. And also, I mean, just by covering the spread is 1.5. That's too low too, man, in my opinion. I'd have to go with at least going over that. I mean, Commanders, I think they're going to go over the 1.5, dude. It's going to at least have to be three or more.
I like your line of thinking. I do. I respect it. But what I do not respect is the Saints spread against the Bills. By far the
That's
largest
ridiculous.
spread, 15 and a half.
That's a lot, dude. They're
Hey,
plus
you know.
850.
I'm actually looking at the ESPN app, Joe. They're plus 900. on there.
Jeez. I'm looking over here at DraftKings, their sports book, man. It says plus 850.
15 and a half. I mean, I believe the
Jeez.
Saints 15 and a half. Okay. Give me the Bills to win, obviously.
Yeah.
15 and a half, Joe.
It's a lot, dude.
That's a lot of points, man.
They know the assignment, Mike. Come on, bro. I mean, they're just basically saying they're just going to lay down and the Bills are just going to roll right over them, dude.
I will do the opposite of what you do, Joe. If you're going to take the 50, lay the 15 points, I'll take it. If you're going to take the 15, I'll lay it.
Oh, man. This one is interesting to me because I'm going to go against the grain. And I know the Saints know the assignment, but I think the Saints aren't going to be able to help themselves and they're going to want to get at least one victory on the season. I'd have to circle this game here as upset of the year for me. I'd have to go with the Saints over the Bills on this one.
Oh, I ain't going that far, dude. You're going
I
Saints
am.
both ways.
I am.
Bills are gonna-
I'm a gambler, man. You either go, you put down that money, you either win big or you go home, bro.
Bills are
I'm
gonna
all
curb
in.
stomp- Bills are going to curb stomp the Saints. I'll take the Bills and the spread.
We'll see, dude. If this one pans out for me, just like the Bears bet panned out for me. I mean, I didn't win a whole lot of money. I put
Yeah.
$100 bet and I won $100. Cool. You know, I mean, this one though, if you go money line straight up, Saints to beat the Bills, I bet you if you put a 20 or 25 to $50 bet and the Saints actually, you know, upset the Bills, that can be turned into some big, some big coin, dude.
Browns and Lions. Browns on the road after beating the Green Bay Packers. They're taking on another NFC North team. You have the Lions here by 9.5 points at home. The Lions scored 50 points in week 2. They go off and beat the living crap out of Baltimore in week 3. I'm going to take the Lions to win this game, but I believe the Browns cover.
Oh, man.
9.5 points is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points, man. I take Detroit to win this game. The problem with Cleveland has a good defense. The problem is Cleveland's offense. Cleveland will go ahead and hold the Lions to not maybe making more than, I don't know, 20 points, 20, 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that Cleveland ain't going to put up any points of their own. They're probably going to only have like maybe 6 points on the game. 3 to 6 points on the game, you know?
Let me see what they've done here.
They're garbage, dude.
The Browns have scored this year 13 against the Packers, 17 against the Ravens, and 16 against the Bengals. So basically, can they hold this team down to the Lions team down to 24 points? Is basically it. I think they do. I like the under in this game too. The under is kind of low. Yeah, give me the Lions to win, but the Browns to cover.
Yeah, look at that. They're all making fun of me now with the Saints to best the Bills. Let's see what happens on Monday if I'm right. And then you all be like, damn. I'm just saying, you know, I think I'm going to go with the Lions against, like I said, the Browns, dude.
Okay.
Then
and
we're
covering
talking
the
about
spread
the
at 9.5.
Bills. Yeah.
Patriots and Panthers, both teams coming off of well, actually, no, the Panthers had a big win last week. Patriots lost to the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken, last week. Oh, the
Yeah.
Raiders are they lost to the Steelers.
Oh, man.
Spread is 5.5. Patriots win that game, but I believe the Panthers cover.
This one's kind of close to call, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I'd have to agree with you on this one, Mike. I think the Patriots win, but the Panthers will go ahead and cover.
Chargers, Giants, Jackson Dart under center starting for the New York Giants. Had a fantastic preseason. Giants did lose their running back though due to injury.
Yeah.
Giants are 0-3. The Chargers are 3-0. It is a 9 a.m. kickoff.
Ooh, man, that's early, and it's gonna be across the pond.
Well, it's no. It's a 12
No?
o'clock kickoff in New York. Actually, no. What I'm trying to say is that it's a 1 p.m. kickoff in New York, but it's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. in California, their time. So their body's a little bit messed up. There is something to be said about those who go from the West Coast to the East Coast for a 12 o'clock game. They don't do well, right? I think the hype and the excitement for Jackson Dart's going to be there, Joe. My upset for the week is the Giants win this game, not only cover the spread, but they actually beat the Chargers. That was good, dude. Going from from LA to New York, it's tough, Joe. And to play an early game, if they were playing at 3 o'clock, I would have taken the Chargers. If they were playing at 7 o'clock, I would have taken the Chargers. But because it's a noon game, give me the Giants.
No, man. I got to go with the Chargers on this one. Give me the Chargers. Chargers are the better team. Giants
are
are
the better
pure
team.
garbage, bro. Pure garbage. I got to go with the Chargers. The 6, I'd have to go and say that at 6 points, I think the Giants will cover.
Okay, respect that. Battle of Undefeateds, the game of the week when it comes to the 12 o'clock games. You have the Eagles at the Buccaneers. Eagles here by 3.5. Give me the Bucs to win that game and to cover the spread.
I'm going to go with you on that one, too. I think the Buccaneers will win that game and cover the spread, 3.5.
I think they're the better team.
I
As of
think
right
the
now.
Eagles are the better team, I think. But problem is that Buccaneers, it's going to be like this. Buccaneers are ballers, man. And they've been in these close games, the 3 games that they've won throughout the season. The problem is, what team is going to have the ball at the end of regulation?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's going to come down to the stretch. They're talking about Jonathan C. talking about Cam Scatterbo is going to be Alvin Kamara 2.0. No, he's going to be Taysom Hill 2.0 because Scatterbo out there, getting the ball for the Giants. He's going to be a big part of the game. And I know our friend RJ Ochoa from Blogging the Boys loves Cam Scatterbo. But last week, 10 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Against Dallas, he had 11 carries for 45 yards. For the season, 4.4 yards per carry. He's going to be getting a lot of play there. Scatterbo is a fan favorite. He's Taysom Hill. I mean, just line him up, put him somewhere. Titans and Texans. Texans are by 7.5. Texans will get this win, but they're going to not cover the spread because 7.5 is a lot for an 0-3 team to cover.
You think so, man? I don't think the Texans win this game, dude. Texans are just not very good.
I don't doubt what you're saying. They have to win a game.
I don't trust them. They have to, but I don't think it's going to be against the Titans. I think the Titans are going to be able to win, but the Titans aren't going to be able to cover that spread at 7. That's too high, man. I'd have to go with at least 3.5 for that one. So I don't think that either team's going to be able to cover the spread on this one. It's going to be closer, but than advertised. But I give the edge to the Titans
and a win as well.
And the win, yeah.
Colts, Rams. What a great game that's going to be. That's going to be in LA. The Rams coming off a loss that they should have won. I think Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, gets brought back down to earth for 1 week anyway. Give me the Rams to cover and to win this game.
I don't trust the Rams, man. But I tell you what, Daniel Jones and the Colts, they are playing great ball right now, and I got to go with the Colts on this one. Colts, and I think the Rams will go ahead and cover the spread.
Jaguars taking on the Mirage, that is the San Francisco 49ers. Jaguars coming in as 2-1, 49ers at 3-0. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be for the Niners yet. Niners here by 3.5 points. Just because of the home team, I'm going to take the Niners. I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I don't like the Jaguars at all. I think the Niners are going to be 4-0. We're all going to be looking up going, how did they get 4-0? They suck. But they'll pull out a victory again. Give me the Niners.
I think I got to be with you on that one too. I think the Niners are going to be able to ink out a victory here. And I think the Jags will be able to cover the spread 3.5. I think the 49ers will win again. Last minute heroics by a field goal.
Ravens, Chiefs. One of these teams is going to be 1-3. That team's going to be the Chiefs. The Ravens got to put it all together. I know that Mahomes is 6-1 against Lamar Jackson for his career. I know, but that Chiefs team sucks. That Ravens team should have beaten Buffalo. That Ravens team needs to bounce back from what happened against the Lions. But they got pushed around, man. They got manhandled. I think they man up. They ball out. They beat the Chiefs. So I'll give me Baltimore to cover and win. 2.5 point spread, by the way.
Oh man, that's that spread. I don't like that spread. I'd at least like it by 3 or 3.5. This one I think is going to be a shootout. I think both teams are going to go back and forth. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think Lamar is going to do enough, be able to scramble out, last second heroics there, be able to go ahead and give the kicker that opportunity to kick the ball through the uprights and come away with the victory. Go ahead and give it to the Ravens, man. To be able to go ahead and cover this spread by at least 3.5.
The other kicker. So you go for the Ravens as well.
Going for the Ravens, yep.
Okay, that you're talking about the Chiefs there for a second.
No.
Bears, Raiders. Bears coming off the win against the Cowboys. Raiders without one of their star players on offense. This is a crap game. By the way, the over-under on the Chiefs Ravens is 48.5. Dude, just tease it upwards for the over. That's gonna be
garbage, dude.
Be a track shoot. Bears, Raiders. It's a 1.5 point spread. Bears here by 1.5. When in doubt, go for the home team. Give me the Raiders.
Oh man, this is a garbage game, dude. I go with the Raiders on this one. I don't trust the Browns. I'm saying the Bears. I don't trust the Bears.
Yeah, they had a good game because they played Dallas.
Yeah, it was a crappy team, dude. I mean,
the Packers traveling to Jerry World. Packers are by 6.5. Give me the Packers. They own the Cowboys. ESPN Analytics says 40% chance of the Cowboys winning this game. I don't buy it. That defense are the worst passing defense. Jordan Love's going to have himself a day out there. Micah Parsons come into town. Micah's going to want to go after Dak Prescott. Give me the Packers. But you know what? I'm going to revise that. Give me the Packers winning that game. No, but there's no CeeDee Lamb. No. Give me the Packers covering the spread as well.
CeeDee, yeah. I have to go with the Packers. Packers are going to be able to come away as the victors. They're going to be able to cover the spread, man. They're going to beat Dallas going away, dude. This is going to be ugly quick.
You have 2 awful Monday Night Football games.
Jeez.
Craptacular Monday night game between the New York Jets, 0-3, going on the road against the 0-3 Miami Dolphins. Miami favored by 2.5. The Jets are the better team.
They are.
Miami's so bad. The Jets at least were in position to win a couple of games. Give me the Jets to not only cover the spread, but win outright.
I think the Jets will cover the spread, win outright. And you know what's going to happen after the game? Miami Dolphins head coach is going to be sent packing. They're going to give him a shine box, bro. This is it. You either win this game or you're fired. I think he's going to get fired. He's going to get canned after the game. And then you got Bengals, Broncos.
Yeah, Bengals, Broncos, 2-1. Bengals without Joe Burrow taking on Bo Nix and the Broncos coming in at 1-2. The spread is high for me anyway. 7.5 point spread for the Broncos. I think the Broncos win, but the Bengals cover.
I think I have to agree with you on that one. Broncos win, but Bengals will cover.
Mm-hmm. So we have tomorrow. We have Spernandez on tomorrow for the Ladies' Day or Ladies' Morning on the Area 210 podcast. I will let you guys know in the morning whether or not I'm going to be able to be part of the show tomorrow. Not that I don't want to be, but I actually have an audit at my work next week that's going to require me to get my files and paperwork in order. So I'm 50-50 for tomorrow. I'm going to get started with it after lunch today. And if I'm done with all my work by tonight, then I will be on the show. But if not, if I still have some things outstanding, I'll let you know. But Joe, it's been a fun show. I want to thank Michael Carlos from the San Antonio Current for being on. I want to thank P.F. Chang's La Cantera for being part of the show. Tonight, I'm going to watch Casino. I had a hard time the first hour, Joe. Everyone tells me this movie is great. The narration from Joe Pesci is cringe. It is nails on chalkboard. He has the worst narrating voice of all time. The best narrated voice of all time, Morgan Freeman, Sam Jackson, Chris Rock. Joe Pesci trying to narrate half the movie. So bad. But I'll power through it. I'll start it all over again. I'll try to rewatch it.
It's a slow burn. It takes a little bit of while to, kind of build up and stuff. But once it gets its stride and it starts going, the second act is the one that you really want to watch.
Okay.
Finish.
Okay.
It's the build up that takes a little bit of time. You're like, what's going on? What's happening? It's kind of slow.
It's reading like a book. They're like,
Yeah.
and then this person is this, and then this person's this, and we take $2 million every week, and we skim it, and we money launder it, and all that stuff, and this much goes to this person. It's like you're reading. It's like it sounds to me like a book, like an audio book, more than it does a movie. That's what I'm having problems with, brother.
JHNSB says we need to bring back the Chevy girls. Camino Real.
Whatever happened to those girls? That's funny.
Who knows, man?
Everyone
All
have
right.
a fantastic day, dude. I need to go get back to work, and I'm wearing my San Antonio. This is the font that I want, Joe, for the Shut Up Gina.
Shut up, Gina. 2025. I think we need to have it as one of those like campaign shirts that says "Shut up, Gina 2025."
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. We'll see you all
All right.
tomorrow. Probably me and Rick. I don't know if Mike will be able to join us, so let us know. But we'll see you all. Have a good one. We're out. Peace.
See ya.